Hey everyone, Dancentral here. What I'm thinking of doing is updating a few of my collection videos. Some of them are fairly recent, so I'll leave them as they are. Others are fairly old, and looking back now, they don't look very good, so I'm just going to kind of update them. Like my NES and my Super Nintendo collections, for example. They just consist of no talking, not showing me on the camera, just music from like a game on the system, and just me pointing the camera at some games, because back then I was like not into blogging, I hadn't really got into it yet, so I was just like wanting to keep off the camera. But now I've come quite a way since then. I'm going to look to redo them and have them looking properly and being able to talk about the games as well. So this Lafaris might be interested in this video. I hope this gives you a bit of an insight to some of the games on the system. Now I've got a lot of games because it was my first system I got, so my parents bought a lot of games for me, and I also bought quite a lot for it as well. So let's just get cracking. Now they're not in alphabetical order or anything. So the Legend game, Burn Cycle. Can't say much more about this game other than it's absolutely amazing. Just so much fun. Basically, the first game I ever played as a kid. And basically the idea is you're playing a guy called Soul Cutter. He's got a virus in his head that's going to detonate in 2 hours, and your job is to basically play through the game and stop that from happening. And you've only got 2 hours to do it, which actually is plenty of time because this game isn't that long at all, really. So this is absolutely amazing. It's also been released on the PC and the Mac as well, but when I bought it, it didn't work because for the Mac it only supports the earlier environment, the classic environment, whereas I've got one of the really new ones, so it was pointless getting that thing because I can't play it. But I've got the CDI version, so it's not all bad. But that's absolutely amazing. No CDI owner should be without this game, otherwise you're missing out big time. Next game, guys, is a game called Little Devil. Really fun game. You play as a devil and you have to go through various mazes, and you have to basically find your way around. In the top left hand corner of the screen you have like a little diagram which shows where you're going and the paths that you've already created, shows you where the sort of certain doors are, and you basically have to collect certain items and figure out which item you have to use in which level to complete it and get through. Gave you a map, a kind of a blank map with a game, so you can kind of draw your own routes so you don't get lost. And if you go too far one way and you have to come back again, you know where you're going to get back again because you've drawn it out. So I thought that was quite an awesome idea to include that. Benson Bears on their own. It's based on the cartoon. It started out as like a cartoon in like the early 90s, I think it was, for kids. And just basically for this game you have to play various games and stuff, and you collect stars, and then you unlock a fun fair at the end where you can go on certain rides and stuff. It's a kids game basically, so I don't play it as much as I used to when I was younger, but it's there for the collection. So why was this next? Do you know what? I honestly have no idea why I bought this game. I think again it was just for the kind of nostalgia value of having it in my collection and kind of increasing it by another game. But please don't send me any comments, or you probably will actually saying, what the hell? But anyway, How the Rhinoceros Got His Skin. It's basically just a story game that you can kind of interact with, and that's pretty much all there is to it. The funny thing is though that apparently this story, it says on the back, the story is told by Jack Nicholson from The Shining. So yeah, it's probably the only interesting thing about this game, that Jack Nicholson voices it. Textiles, sort of a strategy game, pretty awesome. You have to create certain length words in order to get more points. Dark Castle, love this game a lot. It was released on the Mega Drive as well, which I didn't find out till the other day. So that was quite a nice surprise. You play as a teenager or a kid. You have to go through various stages in a castle, avoiding enemies and stuff and just getting through it. Pinball, just your basic average pinball game really. Story Machine Star Dreams, really cool game. You get to create your own stories. You've got a selection of different types of music, different characters, different level backgrounds, and you just kind of fuse the ones together that you want to use, create your own stories. You've got text boxes and you can type your own words in, and then it works like a side-scrolling kind of storybook. International Tennis Open, basic tennis games, pretty good, but just an average tennis game really. Voya, you basically just have to, you kind of taking part in an investigation to find out, kind of a whodunit kind of game, finding out who murdered someone. Battleships, brilliant game, classic game for the CDI, especially if you're playing with someone, trying to sink each other's battleships on the big TV screen rather than as a board game. It's quite awesome. And then we've got Connect 4, So again, it's nice to play it on a system rather than on a board game all the time, so it's quite enjoyable. 2 games that have kind of flopped, and Nintendo are quite embarrassed to admit they created them, and I'm not surprised really. But you've got Zelda Wand of Gamelon and Link the Faces of Evil. Now, one of my subscribers, Half Blind Gamer, he's done some Let's Play videos of these, and all credit to him that he managed to stick with the games right to the end, because they can get quite painful to the end. They're just really hard. I managed to complete them both myself as well, back in the day when I used to play it loads, but it was painful. It's not easy, just the controls are so fiddly, and oh dear, it just could have been done so much better. And the opening F&V sequences, blimey, two are just the most atrocious opening sequences I've ever seen in my life. But probably one of the first games that got bought for me because I was really young at the time. Visit to Sesame Street. You've got Bert and Ernie on the back, and you've got the Count. Pretty good game, but I don't play it anymore for obvious reasons. Quite a good game, Laser Lords. Kind of a sci-fi game. You have to kind of go through various levels, talking to people, finding out about certain planets and stuff, and doing missions. I can't remember exactly what you have to do because I haven't played it in a while. But it's actually quite an interesting game. You've got Paint School 1, which is basically a painting game. You've got a selection of pictures that haven't been coloured in, then you can choose whatever colour you want and colour it in. There's an interactive encyclopedia. This was 150 quid when it was first released. This was quite crazy really, but yeah, it's just a comprehensive encyclopedia. Defender of the Crown. Personally don't like it, it's just I find it really boring and tedious, but that's just what I think. You've got Tell Me Why 2, another kind of encyclopedia thing, tells you all about the human body and the blood and the heart and stuff, and takes you through natural disasters, all about earthquakes. It's just kind of an information CD. Album sampler basically shows you half of music videos. It's got a lot of music videos on here that you can play, but you can only view half of them because it's kind of a sneak preview. I don't really know what the point of that is if you can't view the whole music video. There you go. Then there's a demo disc of Micro Machines. I have done a gameplay video already. Basically, it's based on the NES version, but on this one you can only play 2 levels and a time trial because it's only a demo. But it's still pretty good, and the music's quite funky in it. I remember Wendy saying she was rocking away to it when she was watching the video as well, so I don't blame you. Then we've got Wind in the Willows, Cartoon Carnival, Flashback, Sticky Bear Maths, Dymo's Quest, which is an amazing game. You have to collect all the sweets in each level. Mutant Rampage, it's a fighting game. Flintstones and Jetsons Time Warp, where they switch places. Richard Scarry's Busiest Neighbourhood disc ever. Inca. Escape from Cyber City, one of my favourite games on the CDI. Absolutely amazing game. Very fast paced. Mystic Medway, Rest in Pieces. And Mystic Medway Phantom Express. That one's a shooting gallery. That one's where you're on a roller coaster and you have to shoot everything that comes at you. Caesar's World of Gambling. It's quite good. You can play through slot machines, card machines, and you can also play blackjack, craps, and what's the other one? I think it is just roulette. Don't worry, I'm being strange today. Sandy's Circus Adventure. It's quite a nice game. It's a kids' game. Mega Maze. You have to get the ball from one end of the maze to the other. You have to get it in like the hole at the end. The Awesome Seventh Guest. I'm still to complete this. Just absolutely amazing game. Really impressive use of full motion video. Really, really good. And Hotel Mario. A really bad Mario game, to be honest. I could have done so much more with it. Just got to basically go play through a series of hotels, shutting every door as you go along. And then the last one is another version of Story Machine, but this time it's a different version, Magic Tales. Actually looks quite professional. It doesn't look like an old game, it looks like a kind of a Filofax or something that you'd get nowadays. And then it just opens up. And then you've got the manual. And then you've got the disc inside. Now I think that looks pretty neat. It looks quite professional for a game. It's mainly for collection reasons. So this is kind of the standard CDI controller. It's basically just got a kind of a stick at the top that you move around, and then the buttons surrounding it. And these are kind of for the play and stop and fast forward and rewind and stuff. It's a standard joypad. You can get other joypads for it, but this is the only one that I can really. I've only ever seen that is the most comfortable to use. It's really, really practical. It does its job really. It's quite nice. But the third button in most games doesn't even do anything. It's really weird. I don't know why they did that. And there's no start or select button like on a Super Nintendo controller. It's just basically button 1 that does it. Then you've got a switch at the bottom that kind of changes the speed. You can have like slow motion or speed it up or normal. I don't know why they would include that, because why do you want to see a game in slow motion? You just want to kind of play it as it is, but there you go. I'm also going to be doing a package video very soon, my first ever package video, which is always good. It's not unfortunately going to be of a game yet. I will be looking to get a few games at some point now and doing some more package videos. But this is going to be of something else. It's not a game. I won't tell you what it is yet. I'll keep you guys waiting. But as soon as it comes through, which will hopefully be sometime next week, I will open it up on camera for you guys to see. So thanks a lot for watching this, guys, and I'll put up my video very soon. Too risky now. Sod that.